Hey everyone, this is Julie. Welcome back to Fearless Funnels. This is a decision support podcast for people evaluating if FG Funnels is right for them. Today, I want to tackle the question that is, I really don't understand the relationship between HighLevel and Funnel Gorgeous. Does Funnel Gorgeous give me a high-level account? Do I need my own high-level account? I don't even understand what white label is. And I'd like to settle this once and for all for folks who are confused. And it's not your fault that you're confused because over the years, things have shifted. Let me take you on a little story. Back in the day when HighLevel got started, they didn't really want to focus all that much on marketing. They were developers. They wanted to focus on the software. And I'm actually really grateful for this. And that's why this software is so strong. They decided instead of focusing on marketing, what they would do is they'd build an amazing software and they would partner with marketers, specifically agencies, right? Web design agencies, funnel agencies, these types of folks. And they would say, hey, listen, you can use our software. You can brand it as yours. We'll give you full ability to brand it. You can sell it to your customers at whatever price you want. And that's how HighLevel got started. And because of that, HighLevel really didn't have to worry too much about doing the customer support because it was the agency owner that was actually selling it to the public. Let's say a plumber, right? A plumber gets a HighLevel account, gets an agency HighLevel account, and then goes out into the community and sells plumbing services, or they're a plumber marketing agency, right? And they want to help all the plumbers learn how to do marketing, okay? So this plumber, he gets a HighLevel account. He starts using it for his business. He's like, wow, this is amazing. He's like, I could actually teach other plumbers how to do this. All of a sudden, he is now a plumber marketing agency. And he's selling his system to all of the plumbers in the area saying, here, this is how you automate your texts. Boom. All of a sudden, it's a plumbing agency. And tons of agencies have popped up, right? Around handyman services, local services, bars, salons, restaurants, therapy, lawyers, all this kind of stuff, agencies that are niche specific. And what they're doing is they're running HighLevel, that software. They have branded it as their own. They're paying HighLevel $297 a month. And then they go out and they set all these people up on the tool. And that is how HighLevel ran for quite a long time. Because of that, most people didn't know the company name HighLevel. All they knew were all of these little individual niche specific companies, and nobody realized. And in the beginning days, in the early days, it actually wasn't kosher or cool to tell people it was HighLevel. You sold it as your own, and you kind of kept that part a secret. Well, fast forward a few years, and software as a service started to, increase in popularity. And the owners at HighLevel decided, you know what? If you want to be an agency, that's cool. You can pay $297 a month and then, sign up whoever you want. But what if you want to be a software as a service? And the primary difference between an agency and software as a service is this. When you are an agency and you are signing a customer up, you're actually doing the work for them, right? You're setting up their account, you're customizing it. When you are software as a service, you're actually selling it to them and the end user is signing up, the account is getting created automatically, and they're on their own. And what happened was so Funnel Gorgeous came in to the HighLevel ecosystem in 2020. And this was right as they were getting ready to launch software, what they call SaaSpreneur. Excuse me, SaaSpreneur, which is you want to run this as SaaS, not as an agency. And that price was $497 a month. We came in, they still only had it as an agency, so we had to do all of this crazy tech to make it so that our customers could sign up without us having to do the work because we weren't an agency. And what we did right at the beginning is that we developed essentially an enterprise partnership with Robin and Sean right out of the gate. There was no such thing at the time. There wasn't even what they call SaaS mode. And we set up an enterprise partnership. We asked for a seat at the table because we had a big audience and we knew that this would kind of take off. And it did. We had 1,000 users within 6 weeks. And most agencies didn't have 1,000 users. They had 20 clients, right? Because they were doing the work, but we were doing it as SaaS. That's when we came in. And since then, HighLevel has exploded in popularity. in part because it's an amazing software, but also there were a lot of people over in other tools, Kartra, Kajabi, and notably ClickFunnels, where things weren't going the way people wanted. And so there was a big migration over. And now there are hundreds and thousands of people that are reselling HighLevel either as a done-for-you agency or as a SaaS owner. There are very few people that are enterprise partners, which is what Kathy and I are. And we pay considerably more than $497 a month to maintain that enterprise relationship. When you purchase FG Funnels, you are getting an unlimited HighLevel account. So you're getting all the benefits of a venture-backed market leader when it comes to marketing automation. You're also getting software that is run by people who are committed to the advancement of AI, which is incredibly important. You don't want to be left in the dust. So when you sign up with us, you're getting all of that value. However, the downside to HighLevel is that if you are to go to a direct if you go to HighLevel directly, the support isn't ideal because they never were designed as a company that did all the marketing and support. They were designed as almost like a wholesaler, right? And so now they assume that every agency owner or SaaS owner that is running the HighLevel software, they're in charge of their own support. And when you get this unlimited HighLevel account, you're getting this amazing power, but you need support. And Funnel Gorgeous is like a small town boutique vibe. You're getting tons of support and infrastructure that HighLevel doesn't currently offer because they're busy making the software amazing. And what we're doing is we're busy making the infrastructure around the software amazing. And to be fair, that's what all white label providers and enterprise partners should be doing. And you'll notice that there are a lot of marketing automation companies out there with different names. And when you get to it, you might realize, oh, that's HighLevel too. Oh, that's HighLevel too, right? So for example, there's Elite 360, there's FEA Create, there's another one, Ivory or Iverly, something like that. There are tons and tons of companies that are all just running HighLevel, and then they have it branded. So when you go to pick out a software, unless you're going to Kartra, Kajabi, or ClickFunnels, all of which I have serious reservations about, most likely you're running into a high-level white label provider or enterprise partner. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that the infrastructure around it is sound. Here's a fun fact to know. A lot of white label providers and enterprise partners, not enterprise partners, white label providers, they get bit by this is going to make me money really quickly. And they quickly set up their agency, and then they get stuck at 20 accounts, 30 accounts, 50 accounts, somewhere in that ballpark. And then they can't really scale past that. And what happens is they realize all the costs associated with running a white label. It's expensive. Like, we pay a lot of money to have, 7 or 8 customer support agents full time available on chat. That is not cheap. And there are all these companies that have popped up that are not actually running HighLevel software. What they're doing is they're supporting the agencies and the white label providers, because they have too much money to quit, but not enough money to really scale. Let me give you an example. So let's say you're a white label agency and you've got 20 accounts. It's too much for you to do all the tech. Plus, you've got to go over to HighLevel if you get stuck and the tech isn't great there. So what do? You decide, you know what, I'm going to get third-party support. So you're going to go to Extendly, or you're going to go to HL Pro Tools, or you're going to go somewhere like that. You're going to pay them a monthly fee. They're going to do your customer support. And there's a lot of companies like that. Where we differ at FG Funnels is, number one, we have our own infrastructure. We have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to build our own infrastructure, our own support docs. We don't buy those support docs from third parties. We have eliminated almost entirely our third-party support. We have a little bit of third-party support on the weekends. Otherwise, we are completely internal, and we have an enterprise partnership and contract with HighLevel. So you are getting all the value of the software, and you're getting that boutique feel of Funnel Gorgeous. Keep in mind when you go looking and shopping that if you go to HighLevel directly, you are going to struggle with support. And if you go to another white label provider, you may find that the support infrastructure isn't what you need. That is what you really want to look at. And there are some white label providers that actually don't give you an unlimited high level account. They give you a partial account, and they're not super clear on what the pricing is going to be if to unlock the entire suite of tools, or what happens if that unlimited pricing. We offer unlimited pricing, but they may not. So do your due diligence. The value here for the end user is that you get the best of both worlds at FG Funnels. You get the power and you get that small town feel, and that is something that we are super proud of.